Now we are going to start with the structure of prokaryotic cell. See, what are prokaryotes? You know, the cells which does not have a nuclear membrane and other membrane bound organelles, means those organelles around which the membrane is present. Such type of organelles are also not there. So they are called to be a prokaryotic cells, and prokaryotic cells includes all the organisms which are there in kingdom Monera. We are going to study in a biological classification that Monera is a kingdom which includes prokaryotic cells, which includes bacteria, blue-green algae, that is the cyanobacteria, mycoplasm and ppl. So now you know that this is a diagram of the prokaryotic cell. It is chemically complex protective covering which is called as a cell envelope, which is the outermost covering of the protoplasm of the bacterial cell. And you know that if it is an envelope, it is known to protect the cell from the mechanical shocks and injuries. It is made up of three tightly bound layers: glycocalyx, cell wall and plasma membrane. This I have underlined. It is in the circle: glycocalyx, cell wall and inside is the plasma membrane. See, what is the, you can see that glycocalyx is the outermost layer. Fine. So it is the outer layer, and its thickness and its composition that varies from bacteria to bacteria. It could be in the form of a loose mucilaginous sheet which is called as a slime layer. Okay, if it is very loose mucilaginous sheet, then it is called as a slime layer, and if it is the cell covering or glycocalyx is thick, it is tough covering, then it is called as a capsule, which make the bacteria resistant from the outside environment. Okay, it makes the bacteria to adapt or to live in a unfavorable condition. So this is all about glycocalyx. Then second is the cell wall. You can see that after the glycocalyx is the cell wall, which is a middle layer. You can see this in all the prokaryotes. It gives shape to the cell, it provides structural support, it prevents the bacterium from bursting and collapsing. Now this cell wall is made up of, this cell wall is made up of, you can note it down, that it is made up of peptidoglycan in the eubacteria as well as in the cyanobacteria. So it is made up of, in eubacteria as well as in the cyanobacteria, it is made up of peptidoglycan, and it provides a solid covering to the cell. Now there are various functions of the cell wall. It prevents the cell wall from bursting and collapsing. It allows the material to pass in and out of the cell, and it does not allow the attack of the pathogens. Okay, and it provides a mechanical support to the cell against the gravity. Now if we come to the plasma, this is glycocalyx, this is cell envelope, and this is plasma membrane. It is the innermost layer of the cell envelope. Coming from outside to inside, glycocalyx, cell wall and plasma membrane. It is semi-permeable in nature, and it is responsible for the interaction of the cell to the outside environment. Fine. And it plays a very important role in the regulation of the exchange of specific material between the cytoplasm and the extracellular medium. So it, as I have told you, it is semi-permeable, so it selectively permits particular molecules to pass and prevent the other to get in. Fine. And they prevent the leakage of the components from the cell, and they play a very important role in maintaining the cellular hemostasis. So these are the functions of plasma membrane. Now this is very important, a new thing for you. According to the cell envelope, there are two types of the bacteria according to the stain they make. One is the gram positive bacteria, What they do, they take up the stain. Fine, they take up the stain, and that is why they are called as a gram positive bacteria. And those bacteria which don't retain the stains, you can see in the diagram, if they take up the stain, you can see a purple color, that is a gram positive. If they don't retain the stain, then it is called as a gram negative bacteria. Then coming to mesosome, you can see the circled one, that is a mesosome. They are the extensions of the plasma membrane. You can see capsule, and then is the cell wall, and then is the mesosome, then is the plasma membrane, and plasma membrane has an extension that is called as a mesosome. That may be in the form of a vesicles, in the form of a tubules, or it may be in the form of a lamellae. So any of the type, but it will always be joined with the plasma membrane because it is the extension of the plasma membrane. Okay, so they play a very important role in the प्रोकैरियोट्स. सबसे पहले they help in respiration and cellular secretion of the prokaryotes. They help in respiration. They help in increasing the enzymatic actions. They increase the surface area of the plasma membrane. They help in the formation of cell wall. And the most important function is that they help in replication of DNA. That means that they distribute the genetic material to the daughter cells when the bacteria undergoes the fission. So they help in respiration, they increase the enzymatic actions, they help in the formation of cell wall, and they help in the replication of DNA. All the points are mentioned here. Cell wall formation, replication, for the distribution of chromosome to the daughter cell, for respiration and secretion, and to increase the surface area for the enzymatic action. You can see, and the other function is, you can see it here, it has been written 70S ribosomes are present in prokaryotes, and 80S ribosomes are present in the eukaryotes. Then are chromatophores. These are pigment containing membranous enfoldings in some of the prokaryotes. These are the membranous structures which are present in some prokaryotes, like in cyanobacteria. So they are internal membrane system of photosynthetic form which possess photosynthetic pigments, and these pigments are light reflecting. Fine, they reflects the light, and they play a very important role in they act as a photosynthetic pigments. Now, what is nucleoid? You can see in the prokaryotes, nuclear membrane is not there. So their non-membranous circular genomic DNA. In our body it is linear, but in the prokaryotes the DNA is circular. Single chromosome genetic material and proteins are present, and many bacteria have small circular DNA plasmid outside the genomic DNA. This is very important thing to be noted down. One is, you can see, one is nucleoid. Okay, you can see here, one is nucleoid. See, what is nucleoid? It is the genomic DNA which passes from one bacteria to another. And there is a plasmid. Okay, this is also a DNA, but it is a very small circular DNA which is present outside the genomic DNA and plays a very important role in acting as resistant to antibiotics in some of the bacteria. So there is a difference between nucleoid and plasmid. You have to be very clear, and this word plasmid you will be facing many of times in many of the chapters. So it is it is not a part of genomic content. It is present outside the genomic DNA. Now, flagella. They are thin filamentous extensions from the cell wall of the motile bacteria. See, what is motile? Motile means those bacteria which can move. Their number and arrangements are varied in the different bacteria. See, there are three parts. You can see in this diagram. Please have a look. They have three parts. 1, 2 and 3. Filament, then is the hook, and then is the basal body. With the basal body, it is attached to the bacteria. The filament is the longest portion and extends from the cell surface to the outside. So this filament is the longest portion, which is made up of a protein called flagellin. As it is a flagella, so it has a protein called as a flagellin. Then is the hook in between, and the basal body, which is the most complex part of the flagellum, which is attached to the plasmalemma of the prokaryotes. Okay. Then coming to the pili and fimbria, you can see there is a difference. You can see the diagram, and in the diagram you can see sex pili, they are little longer and very few in number. Fimbriae are very large in number, and then flagellas are there for the movement. Now pili are the elongated. Okay, they are elongated tubular structures which are made up of a special protein called as a pilin. Fine. And they are responsible for they don't play a role in the locomotion of the bacteria, please mind it. They are only responsible for during the transfer of the during the conjugation in the bacteria, when the bacteria are undergoing the pass of the DNA from one bacteria to the another, that is called as a conjugation. So they help in the attachment of the two bacteria. It is a better word to say, so as to transfer the genetic material. Fimbriae are the small bristles like fibers which comes out of the cell. In some bacteria, they help to attach the bacteria to the rocks in the streams and to the host tissues. Okay. So pili are longer and broader. Fimbriae are shorter and narrower. Pili play a very important role in conjugation, and fimbriae help in attachment. Okay, so pili are tubular in structures and fimbriae are bristle-like structures. These are the basic differences between the pili and the fimbriae. I hope the flagella, pili and fimbriae